And we have news this morning on the controversy surrounding NPR. The CEO of NPR, Vivian Schiller, has been ousted. Her departure follows an undercover video sting of NPR's former top fundraiser by a conservative activist. A videotape of that development executive, Ron Schiller, no relationship, was made public yesterday, showing him disparaging conservative groups during what he thought was a fundraising meeting. NPR media correspondent David Folkenflik joins us now to sort this all out. And David, fill us in on what precisely led to this morning's news.
Well, the board of directors of NPR put out a statement saying they accepted Vivian Schiller's resignation. I'm told by sources that she was forced out, that this was I guess the final shoe dropping, you could say. The most immediate backstory, of course, is, as you mentioned, Ron Schiller, the former senior vice president for fundraising, seemingly disparaging conservatives, something, NPR executives have said is not part of our core, in fact, not in any way part of our DNA, that we're supposed to be a place of civility, open-mindedness, where people can hear themselves reflected in our coverage and on our air.
And used it's important to say, used some pretty strong language about the Tea Party in this particular part of his conversation.
Exactly so. And so this was damaging in and of itself on its face, but it's only the latest in a series of recent episodes.
And those recent episodes began with the firing of Juan Williams last fall.
Well, in a sense, very much, yes. Juan Williams made what are now some famous comments on Fox News Channel, where he was also a contributor, talking about fearing people in Muslim garb on airlines, NPR executives, including Schiller, but also then Senior Vice President for News, Ellen Weiss, forced out Juan as an analyst, saying that that's not the kind of comments, and was one in this series of events in which he was making inappropriate comments. That blew up, as you may recall. It ultimately cost Ellen Weiss her job, and was done.
Ellen Weiss, the news director at the time?
Correct. And I think it's important to underscore that all of this happened amid a push by Republicans on Capitol Hill and House of Representatives stemming back to last June to strip public broadcasting of all federal funding. The Republicans took over the House of Representatives and indeed this winter passed a bill to strip public broadcasting of all funds. The Corporation for Public Broadcasting distribute federal funds, a modest amount to NPR directly, but a significant amount to its member stations. The fear is that up to 100 stations could go dark without it. That's the real backdrop here. There were renewed calls yesterday on Capitol Hill, intensified calls to take that money away. And I think the board, which is a majority of which is controlled by station officials themselves, our clients, but also our corporate board members, felt that this was one misstep, one major black eye too many.
And in this instance, Ron Schiller, the fundraiser, former fundraiser of NPR, he was talking to what he thought were people who were proposing to give some millions of dollars to NPR, and the very people themselves, those were, they turned out to be what group?
Well, they turned out to be involved with conservative activist James O'Keefe, who's targeted a number of liberal groups, including Acorn and Planned Parenthood, and also in a botched effort tried to humble or embarrass deeply a CNN investigative reporter.
Right.
This was one too many hits or blows to the common good, I guess.
Of here in this case of NPR. Well, we have 10 seconds. What's next?
What's next is that Joyce Slocum, who's a senior executive at NPR and top lawyer, is going to take over as the interim CEO while the board launches a search.
Great. Thank you very much. NPR's correspondent David Folkenflik.